Well, Stephen, I know it's still probably fresh to you, but give us an idea of the emotions right now to be so close twice and to come up a little bit short. What's the emotions right now?
Disappointed, man. Worked my whole life to get here. I thought I won the fight, but you can't leave it in the judge's eyes. So that was on me.
I know it might be tough to recount. You're saying you thought you won the fight. I'm not sure if you can recount the scoring, or how did you guys have it? Did you think you had it 3 rounds to 2? What did you feel?
I thought I definitely thought I had 3 rounds. I know he took me down. I think it was in the 3rd round, but stood right back up. Of course, he landed some shots down on the ground. Didn't hurt. Tyron's a big guy. He's very strong. He's got a mean right hand, good takedowns, very strong in the clinch position. So I had to play it smart out there. So just try to pick him apart. Use my side kicks, use my jab, throwing leg kicks. I thought I had it, man. And I don't remember what the scorecards were, but I think somebody gave him a 10-8.
Yeah, in round 5.
Which I don't see that. Yeah, he knocked me down, but popped right back up. I was good. Yeah.
Certainly a tactical battle, but there were, kind of long periods of inactivity. How did you feel about that? I mean, I know you guys had a lot of respect for each other, and it's not like you're just standing there. You're both concerned with what's coming on the other side. But, what led to those periods of inactivity? And did you feel like, there were adjustments to make, or that you had to step up the pace? I'm sure you probably heard the crowd a little bit. Just explain it to us.
Well, the thing is, you're the one that's out there. Of course, the crowd and everybody's watching you, but they're not the ones in the octagon getting punched in the face. So, you got to learn to block that out and just do what you got to do. I don't know, man. I thought I did what I needed to do to get the job done, but it wasn't enough. So got to go back to the drawing board and hopefully, keep this going.
So where do you go from here? Obviously a 3rd fight wouldn't be on deck right away. So, do you want some time off? Do you want to get back in there quickly to kind of get this taste out of your mouth? What's the right plan?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I'm gonna go back and talk with my coaches, my family, see what's going on. Definitely want to heal up. Took a big shot in the 5th round, and 2 big shots in the fight before that. So just want to make sure everything's ticking up here, okay. Yeah, I definitely, I'm a fighter. I'm gonna fight whoever. But I want to go back and talk with my coaches and see if we should take some time off or we should get another fight. So it's kind of up to us. We're going to congregate and see what we can get going.
Steve over here.
Yes, sir.
Do you think going 10 rounds with Tyron that to add more to your arsenal or something like that? Do you think that's something you need to go to the drawing board, or just kind of do what's got you up to this point?
I think what I'm doing is working. Obviously, I've got things I got to work on. Always something. There's some, you can go back and work on. We're going to go back with my coaches and watch the fight and see what I could have done better and what things I shouldn't have done out there. But I thought I fought a good game, a good fight, good game plan going out there. And yeah, man. There's always something you can work on. Obviously, he got me down in the 1st round, but I thought I recovered very well. 3rd round, I think it was, he took me down. He's very, very powerful guy. Yeah, man, just emotions right now. It's kind of sucks.
And kind of what John just earlier about the crowd booing. Does it bother you the fact that people don't get that getting hit is not cool?
Yeah, it's not cool at all. It doesn't feel good. So yeah, people. Well, the fans, they pay for a show. Our job to go out there and put on a performance. But then again, you're thinking about our safety as well. The one shot could be the end of your career. I've seen punches like that in dudes' careers. So I thought I went out there, and that was my whole plan, was to put my right side forward. The first fight I had with him, I kept my left side forward, but when I switched sides, I think I threw him off a little bit. I had him backing up the whole time, pretty much the whole time. I thought I had good cage control, just keeping him, being aggressive, moving him back. But yeah, it doesn't bother me one bit. I know I got a job to do out there, and my goal is not to get hit. So I don't, if the crowd boos, they boo, but they're not the ones out there fighting.
And final question: do you think that you and Tyron's paths will cross before your career's over? Do you think you want that trilogy, or is it too fresh off the fight to even think about that before your career's over with?
Yeah, man. You know what? We may face each other again. You never know. We'll work my way back up, and we might do it. Round 3, you never know. So right now, I just want to get back and rest. But I've been fighting for close to 19 years. So just want to go back and get some rest, get some sleep, heal up, and go back to the drawing board.
You talked about game planning and going to the drawing board. When you were doing that for this fight, were you anticipating it being this sort of tactical back and forth the way it was, or were you expecting something different from him to bring something else in?
Yeah, well, I didn't realize he was going to be as hesitant for this one. He was backing up a lot, and I knew he was waiting for me to come in. I could feel that. When you're out there, it's just a feel thing that this guy's looking for me to come in so he can hit me with the right hand or take me down. So I had to play it smart. I had to keep him out with, keep him away with my side kicks, flick the jab out there every now and then, throw the left hand, throw a head kick, throw the leg kicks. But when he explodes, he explodes. So in the 5th round, he did hit me with that right hand. But that was the game plan going out there in my head. Of course, you want to go out there and have an awesome, spectacular knockout. But when you get out there, it's a different feel. I think only fighters can really understand what that's like whenever you're out there. But yeah, man, I knew it was going to be tactical. Technical, excuse me.
Stephen, Dana was in here a little while ago. He said he actually had the fight scored for you 3 rounds to 2. When we have a matchup of 2 fighters who have such distinctive style differences like this, do you think your style puts you at any kind of a general scoring disadvantage in the eyes of the judges? Because as you just alluded, Tyron, when he's imposing his will, is going to be explosive. There's going to be takedowns, things like that. Yours is going to be more tactical. It's going to be more points on the perimeter. Do you think that puts you at any visual disadvantage with judges who maybe don't appreciate that particular side of it?
Obviously it did for this fight. I wanted to explode. I wanted to throw, blitz him and throw big, heavy bombs, but I knew he was waiting for me to do that. In the last fight, he waited for me to blitz in. He hit me with the right hand, knocked me down twice. So I knew that. So I had to kind of lure it out a little bit, kind of see where he was, and then blitz or then strike, but never got the chance to really go out there and do it because he never gave me an opportunity to. He was always ready, even though he was backing up the whole time. But, yeah, I could see that being a disadvantage.
After being in there with them now for 10 rounds, is there one thing you can put your finger on tonight as opposed to back in New York that felt wholly different to you in terms of the fight itself?
Just my pressure to him, me backing him up against the cage. He wanted it. He would explode in every now and then, but when I wanted the center of the octagon, I got it. So he tried a whole lot to get me up against the cage. He got me down in the 3rd round. He's successful there. Popped right back up, but he didn't have the chance to do that because I had him backed up against the cage. So yeah, I think the pressure this time from me, just having him back it up, just letting him know he's not going to have the center of the octagon was something different. I think that threw him off a little bit too.
Tyron, congratulations on a victory this evening.
Thank you.
No, it's still fresh, but just give us your thoughts overall. A very, very intense fight, very technical fight. How did you feel about your performance overall this evening?
When you fight someone for the second time, especially somebody like Wonder Boy, he's really crafty. A lot of people don't realize what I'm seeing when I'm in there is not the same thing that the fans may see. They want to see the bulldozer come forward because they've seen me do that so many times. But when I came for it a few times, you saw me get those double right hands upside the head. So his counterattacks is a lot. He's probably the best counterattacker in our division. So I had to be cautious. I had to be patient. I had to really block out the boos. And I had to find the right entry to get in close enough to do damage. And it took a while for me to get there. But I got it done.
Among the media and among fans, scoring was across the board. Some of those rounds were very tight and tough to score. How did you guys have it, and how comfortable were you, especially after given what happened in the first fight, that you had done enough to win?
I didn't get a chance to talk to Stephen afterwards very much. But me personally, I thought the fight was close. I thought it was close going into the 5th round. It's kind of a side food. I didn't really realize exactly what round we were in and what. But my coaches always tell me to finish strong, finish hard. And you guys know me, man. I've only had like 3 decision, fights, probably in the UFC, maybe a couple more. But in general, I'm always trying to finish anyway. I'm always trying to finish the fight. So when I hit him, I knocked him down. I saw him hurt. I guess I knocked him down again. I didn't recognize I knocked him down twice in the round. And my coaches told me I probably shouldn't have hit him again because it looked like he was out. But he's a tough kid, man. He got a tough chin. I haven't hit anybody that many times, and they lasted since Carlos Condit. So hats off to Stephen Thompson. Very difficult, very difficult guy to prepare for. Very annoying training camp to bring in guys, and I'm excited to move on with my career and prepare for a regular freestyle fighter.
I know that you're accustomed to kind of getting a little bit of disrespect and that sort of thing, being the underdog, and there were the boos tonight. But I want to ask you, was it a frustrating fight for you? Because it did seem like you were doing and trying to do what you could, but again, both counterpunches in there, moments of inactivity. Was it frustrating for you to stick to the game plan and maybe not come out of your shell a little bit and put yourself at risk?
Yeah, it was frustrating. I mean, there were moments where I should have, maybe faked the shot, came up punching, went back to the shot, came up punching. Just some stuff to chop the street down to get a little closer to a longer opponent. So, yeah, I could have done a little bit more of that. But there were times where the opening wasn't there for the takedown. It wasn't there. Like trying to just jab him in the face is hard because he looks a lot closer than what he is, and he's waiting to fade back and counter with his right hand. And I've seen it time and time again. He fades back, counter right hand, lead leg roundhouse, and that's what he knocked guys out. I mean, he did kick me in the head this time. Last fight, I was able to neutralize every single kick he threw. I think he landed maybe one in the throat. This time he landed probably two upside the head. So, I was tough and I stepped forward. That's what champions do.
I guess I'll ask you since I thought someone else had the mic. In the fifth round, Tyron, you came out so hard, which you didn't do in those other rounds. And I wonder why you felt the need to do that if you felt it was going okay for you, in the first four.
Well, you never know if it's okay for you. You should never go in there with the mindset, okay, I'm up, let me coast, because that's how you go out there and you lose a fight. I just wanted to finish strong. If I would have won all 4 rounds clearly and dominated him and took him down and laid on top like everybody wants to see me do, then I would have still came out hard in the 5th round. That's just the way that we train. That's the way we practice, and that's just ingrained in my mind.
And I wasn't suggesting that you knew, but I was suggesting that since that was successful, had you thought about that even earlier in the fight, because obviously your pressure forced him to change and you were able to land that right hand.
My coaches, obviously a little tentative from the last fight, the way the judging went. And, I really feel like they were telling me, go, go, go. You got to go forward, because they didn't want me to ease up and think that I was winning the fight. And, I'm just glad my conditioning is to a point where I can forget I was in the damn 5th round. I thought we were in the 4th round until my coach reminded me. So I'm just blessed to have a great coaching staff, great team behind me, and I'm really coming into my own as a champion.
Tyron over here. Do you feel tonight's fight was closer than the first one?
I do think tonight's fight was closer than the first one, actually. I think that the first fight, if the scoring would have been different with the 10-8 rounds, maybe I would have had 2 10-8 rounds in the first round and the 4th round, and the 3rd round was a swing round. This fight was very close. I think the first round he won. The 2nd round, I don't remember what happened. 3rd round, I believe that's when I scored a takedown. 4th round, maybe he won. In the 5th round, did I get a 10-8 that round? I'm assuming one gave me 10-8. All right, so it was some damage done in that round. So it was kind of hard to say. And once again, I was just looking at his eyes, looking at his feet, and I was trying to move forward and close the gap.
Does it frustrate you or even mattered when Dana was in here earlier and said that he basically wasn't impressed and he's kind of frustrated and he said he doesn't know what's going to happen with y'all next?
Well, I mean, I want to see Dana get in there and fight Wonder Boy. Watch everybody else that walked in there. Watch Patrick Cote. Watch Robert Whitaker. Watch all these guys that thought they were just going to bulldoze him, and they disrespected his style. I did the opposite. I embraced his style. I brought in the world champion currently, Avery Plowden, in his weight division. I brought in Sage Northcutt. I brought in Chris Bang. I brought in tons of guys in the actual sport fighting world, Raymond Daniels, and you can't disrespect that style. What happens is you think you got it figured out, and kicks and punches come from weird angles, and you find yourself without this, and you find yourself knocked out. So I know, this is a sport where you guys love to see knockouts. You love to see the glory. You love to see blood, guys getting beat up, and then he find a way to come back, and then other guy, the teeter. I love it. I love watching it as well. But guess what? I love being the world champion, and sometimes it's not the sexiest fight on earth.
At least in my next question, I asked Wonder Boy the same as that question. Does it bother you the fact that people think getting hit is cool?
No, I mean, getting hit should never be cool. The art should be hitting and not getting hit, but you have to still be able to get hit and walk forward. In the first round, he hit me with a couple punches back to back. I think he doubled up on the right hand, and he hit me in the eye, and I had to blink because I couldn't really see well. Then I got kicked in the head a couple times. I had to walk forward. That mentally breaks guys sometimes because when they're used to guys that get hit, they back up and they're passive. But when somebody get hit and they step forward like the Terminator, it puts like, damn, what kind of person is this? And the same thing with him, man. I took his head off again. 5th round was very similar to the 4th round in the first fight. And he's just not a quitter, man. He's a championship-type kid. In the future, he might become the champion. Who knows? He has the intangibles. But at the end of the day, I did what I needed to do to get it done.
Tyron, you're obviously, I know it's important to you to continue to build your audience. When you have a performance like this, when you have a fight like this, how difficult is it to, further that cause?
A fight like what? A world championship fight against a very tough opponent, a chess match and a rematch?
Yeah.
Is that what the fight you're talking about?
I don't think it was well received by the fans, is what I'm saying.
That's okay. Well, the fans can also tap in. I'll pause the fight. They can enter the cage. I'll exit the cage, and they can show me how to do it better. It's so easy to say it from that seat you're sitting in, but when you're fighting a world-class fighter who's finished so many opponents, so many knockouts, so many tricks up his sleeve, sometimes you have to be patient. You have to find that moment, and the moment came in the 4th round. It came in the 1st round of the last fight. This fight, it really didn't come into the 5th round. Now, granted, as I said before, I could have created that atmosphere. I could have did that with more feints, more level changes, more takedowns, attempts, combinations. But at the end of the day, if I worried about what the fans said, I wouldn't be in this position right now. So I love the fans. They make our sport. They make the UFC what it is. But I'm the person that's in there fighting, and this is the toughest division in the world.